course, like the backstabbing, I think is not something that anybody, wants or wishes.
Yeah, it's also,
For.
yeah,
Yeah,
because it leaves you with a bad taste in your mouth for sure, in terms
yeah.
of like, I don't really want to work with these people
I
anymore.
know, right?
But he came back and they
Hmm.
continued. I think this is also the time where you start to see that PayPal mafia start to build out. People like Reid Hoffman,
Hmm.
he was instrumental in helping PayPal secure payment lines with the big credit card companies, Visa, MasterCard, Intuit.
Hmm.
And then some of these other people that you'll notice in the PayPal mafia also joined. People who built YouTube.
Yeah.
Um, there was one other company that came out of there that was it was Dropbox maybe. One of the companies that was
Yeah.
huge that came out, Yelp
Yeah.
was one of them. So, yeah, this was in the early 2000s
Hmm.
when PayPal was really starting to get big, and I believe that they had some kind of customer acquisition strategy where they would say you don't need to be a customer to send money, but you need to be a customer to receive money.
Mm.
So you would be able to pay somebody, but they wouldn't be able to collect it until they made an account. As a way to say, like, no, I paid you already.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
have to go make an account and get your money out of
So
there.
they kind of inserted themselves in between that transaction to grow the user base, which, it's a good way of building a base. And it's interesting to think about that in terms of growing a software platform now.
Exactly.
But yeah, there's a lot here, and this is kind of like still in the timeline. Skipping ahead a little bit, he ended up after getting his payout there, he ended up walking away with $55 million. He had a 3.7% stake in PayPal when they sold to eBay.
Yes. Which is funny because Elon had a bigger stake.
Yeah, the 11 point,
yeah,
11.6.
It was like three times as much.
Yeah,
got paid out 3 times as much. But yeah.
And he started Founders Fund.
Mm-hmm.
He had an initial investment for 10.2% in Facebook.
First outside investor.
Yes.
That's his like one claim to fame as well as all the other stuff.
Yeah.
First outside investor in Facebook for 10.2%.
Mm-hmm.
That's
insane. He started PayPal, or not PayPal, Palantir after that.
Yep.
And he has a lot of funds. That's one thing that I noticed in doing some digging on him, is how many different investment funds that he has. And it started to change the way that I look at some of these, like the way that a lot of these people organize their business and the way that they organize how they invest in their investment approach.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's like, we think of these funds as these institutions when you hear them, but a lot of it is just, hey, this is where I'm parking my money, and then this is where I'm allocating it.
Yeah.
And so, not that wasn't clear before, it's just become more real to me in terms of the
optionality that you have.
Optionalities, but like the actions that they did to, and why they do that.
Yes.
And there's a lot of I guess infrastructure that you can take advantage of by just saying, I want to do this, and I'm going to set up these funds, and I'm going to have this fund for this purpose and this fund for this purpose. Like that's a big thing. But yeah, that's a really, there's a lot going on there, and we're not going to touch on a lot of the things here.
This is like 2005-ish.
Yes.
That we're at.
Yep. So Founders Fund is where there's a lot of software investments. LinkedIn, Airbnb, Spotify, SpaceX, not necessarily, but Stripe. There's a lot of
great investments, honestly.
Yeah, investments in that, from that angle. He has Valor Ventures, General Matter, Thiel Capital, Mithro Capital, but 1517 Fund, America's Frontier Fund, Rivada Space Networks, that's not another fund there. What is that? Snow Ventures.
Wow. Does it give you a total number?
Crescendo Equity Partners, Elevate, Promonos Capital, and honestly, the list goes on. So it lets me know that they're thinking about it differently. You look at how it might be in the Midwest or outside of Silicon Valley, and it feels like, okay, this is the one and the only. Like, this is they actually, I was gonna say this is the Precious, but he's a big Tolkien fan, and I think one of their funds is called the Precious. Like,
is it really?
Like they nicknamed it the Precious.
That's funny.
But yeah, so that's kind of like the landscape right now. The thing that I'm really interested in, where I spent most of my time looking into him, was the 0 to 1 book.
Yeah, we can definitely spend some time there for sure.
Yeah. What about you? What have you been?
I do want to say, just like from the 2005 aspect onwards,
Yeah.
Peter has been extremely active in the political realm, funding a lot of campaigns, and not only in like direct politics, but also indirect politics. He was actually, and you guys may or may not know this, was the financier behind Hulk Hogan's lawsuit of Gawker Media.
Yeah.
Most people saw that lawsuit. For anyone who doesn't know, Hulk Hogan had a sex tape leak from this company called Gawker Media. Hulk Hogan didn't like that, sued him, and basically said, like, you shouldn't have done that without my consent, blah, blah, blah. And Gawker had the idea that, well, Hulk Hogan's only one person, and we're a giant company. We're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. We'll just keep this lawsuit going on forever and bleed him dry. What happened with Peter was a couple years before this had happened, Gawker had released a story on Peter, sharing some of his personal details that probably didn't want shared, you know? And so Peter secretly reached out to Hulk Hogan's legal team and said, hey, don't tell anybody, but we'll back you. We'll pay all the the lawyer fees so you can fight this case. And it didn't come out until Gawker was actually bankrupted by the court case. And I think that's interesting just because it's a strategic move to get back at somebody that I know that he wasn't on good terms with.
Well, they outed him as gay.
That was yes, that was what Gawker had done to Peter a couple years before this. And so, yeah, I mean, it's like, don't piss off billionaires that are going to come after you because, you know, you think that you're some kind of evangelist journalist and you're, you know, it's interesting how that kind of strategy where he didn't, you know, blow up at the time and say a bunch of things. He was like, no, I'm just going to quietly wait till I can get my move back and then just make sure that move is strong enough to take over your whole company.
Yeah, I think it says a lot about his mindset too.
Oh,
which,
yeah.
To that point, is he's a strategy guy.
Exactly.
He thinks in strategy.
The long term too.
Yeah, and that's a case in point right there. It's okay, you did that to me and you felt like you could just do that and run away with it, and he bided his time.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna get you back, don't worry about it.
Yeah. So he fought the war, he lost the battle, and then he fought the war, and
Yep.
Yeah.